Hey, and welcome into the Big Ten Huddle. I'm your host, JR, and today got another portal segment for you on this show. You all love hearing about the portal. I've seen the numbers, so I'm going to keep talking about it. But first, please do like, subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps bring you more Big Ten content and beyond. I host a basketball show every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Though I couldn't do it yesterday because of the storms in Indiana, I'm doing it now to try and make up for it. If the storms affected you or someone you know, I hope you're doing okay. Just know that I'm praying for you and praying for all those who are affected by the storms. Now, let's dive deep and look at three Big Ten players who aren't currently in the portal but are hearing from teams behind the scenes if they so choose to enter the portal. For each one, I'll name at least one team talking to their camp and share my take on whether they're likely to stay put or enter into the transfer portal. Before fans of these players or schools get upset and say, I don't know what I'm talking about, check my track record. Okay, I'm 4 for 5 in portal predictions so far, with 3 more pending that look pretty solid. I'm not bragging. It's just that in this business, you've got to be right if you want people to listen. My content isn't wild guesses. It's well-sourced info I use to make predictions and tell you how confident I am. All right, enough of that. Let's get started. First up is Devin Royal at Ohio State. Royal was one of the Buckeyes' 3 best players this year. He's from Ohio and has been recruiting for the team this offseason, helping land Gabe Cups and even reaching out to Dylan Swain, now at Texas. At 6'6", Royal is a strong rebounder who played a lot at the 4 this year, though his natural spot is more of the 3. He improved his outside shooting, shines down low for his size, and causes problems for teams with weak perimeter defenders at the 4. Michigan State really wanted him during his recruitment and nearly got him, but he chose to stay home with the Buckeyes instead. Things haven't gone well, though, at Ohio State. Chris Holtmann was fired his freshman year, and this season Ohio State was 3rd team out of the NCAA tournament. Meanwhile, Izzo and the Spartans are going to lose Frankie Fiddler, need a score, and just made it to the Elite Eight. They've reportedly been in touch with Royal's camp, and if he enters the portal, they'd be front runners to land him. Ohio State's just added 7-footer Christoph Tilley from Santa Clara, and Bruce Thornton and John Mobley are supposed to be returning, as they've both announced that that's going to happen. Still, the Buckeyes expect at least one more player to hit the portal before it closes on April 22nd. And some think it could be Royal. But hold on, I have a refutal, whatever that word is. I have something to refute that. Royal's been recruiting, and the new additions don't threaten his role. I agree and don't think he's going to enter the portal. If anyone leaves, I'd bet it's either Ivan Nagovin or Sean Stewart. Ohio State's pursuit of Morez Johnson in the portal might have rubbed Sean Stewart the wrong way. He played hard last year and was an underrated rebounder. He could feel overlooked in Bolt, though Diebler might smooth things over. Royal seems locked in, but we've seen surprises before, like Felix Okpara, who was planning and even announced that he was going to come back last year for Ohio State until Tennessee's bigger offer changed his mind. In the portal, no one is safe. A player can say they're staying, but a better deal might sway them. We'll see. We'll see what happens, and we'll keep you up to date on everything that goes on there. Next, Braden Smith at Purdue. Hold on, Purdue fans. Relax, okay? Don't turn it off. Don't tune me out, okay? The next player I'll mention involves you, but he doesn't play for Purdue, if you catch my drift there, okay? Stick around. Everyone knows Kentucky is after Smith hard. He's set to be the nation's best point guard next year, was arguably the best point guard this year, and it's a role that he is clearly ready for. At the very least, he's probably going to be an All-American at the end of the season next year once again. People said he was just feeding Zach Edey, but he upped his assists without Edey this year, proving them wrong. Smith's the engine driving Purdue's train. He's a pick-and-roll wizard, phenomenal in games like the Houston game in the Sweet 16, and he's just crazy enough to be intimidating to his opponents. Kentucky's calling with deep pockets, but Smith loves Purdue, Matt Painter, his team, and his community. He's even hosting a basketball camp in Lafayette on April 19th. Though the portal closes April 22nd, could he do the camp and then jump? Maybe, but I really don't see it happening. Purdue's dominance helps with and with four guys, Will Berg, Miles Colvin, Cam Heide, and Waddell already in the portal. The fan base is hurting. The school knows this. They're going to do everything they possibly can to keep him. I don't think Smith leaves, but until we get confirmation he's back, I'm not fully convinced. Matt Painter's vague response on the Field of 68's Final Four show yesterday, dodging a direct yes and just griping about the portal instead, didn't inspire confidence to me. Maybe he's letting Smith announce it himself, or maybe things are shakier than fans think. I won't relax until the portal's closed. Last but not least is Brooks Barnheiser of Northwestern. I know what you're thinking. I'm nuts. I get it. Okay? He graduated, right? Well, word is he's still awaiting a waiver. Barstool Northwestern's April Fool's joke fooled some into thinking that it was approved, but it's not. If it does get approved, Purdue's a team to watch for the Lafayette native if he so chooses to enter the transfer portal. Barnheiser was a three-star top 150 recruit, wasn't offered by Purdue initially, but is on their radar now. If his waiver looks promising and he's eyeing Purdue, it'd explain Cam Heide's exit, especially with Clough in the mix. It'd sting Northwestern fans, but I could see it happening. Imagine a Purdue lineup with Braden Smith, Fletcher Loyer, Brooks Barnheiser, Trey Coffin-Wren, and either Oscar Clough or Daniel Jacobson. Yeah, that would be pretty special. We're watching that closely, and it could be huge for Purdue next season. What do you think, staying or leaving? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I love hearing your feedback, and stick around for the next segment as I'm going to give you my top 5 teams that are my way too early favorites to win the Big Ten next year. And if you would like, please do like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. We'll be right back after this break. CBB Analytics isn't just another stat site, it's your ultimate destination for in-depth college basketball analysis used by fans and even the coaches. It has comprehensive stats for men's and women's basketball across Division 1 through 3, dating all the way back to 2018. From shooting percentage to game recaps, CBB Analytics has it all. Try CBB Analytics for free or pay for a tier to take your basketball knowledge to the next level. Welcome back to the Big Ten Huddle. Be sure to use the code HUDDLE at cbbanalytics.com for $30 off. That's code HUDDLE for $30 off. Okay, here are my top 5. Let me get the graphic up here. I don't want to forget the graphic here. Okay, here are my top 5 Big Ten basketball favorites for next season. I know the Final Four is still happening, but give me a break, okay? It's time to get hyped for next year in the Big Ten. These picks might change. They're probably going to for sure change as the portal and offseason unfolds. So don't come at me next March saying if I was on or off or whatever, unless I repeat my predictions in November, and then you can come after me. I guess October is when I would do them. But then it's fair game. First, let's talk honorable mentions. I have a few. Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, and UCLA. Indiana's still building their roster, but I really like Darren DeVries. I'm sorry, I said that wrong in a different episode. With their NIL money, they could create something special. Maybe compete year one in the Big Ten like Michigan did with Dusty May. Ohio State had promise, but plenty of letdowns this year. I just mentioned Devin Royal possibly leaving, but if he stays, I like this Buckeye squad. Christoph Tilley bolsters their front court, and they're chasing big portal targets with NIL to burn. My biggest concern is Jake Diebler. He's beaten good teams, but got outcoached by Northwestern and blew late leads this year. Oregon's got Dana Altman, a great coach who always grabs quality portal players. With Jackson Shellstad coming back and maybe Nate Biddle too, they've got a solid core, good enough for a mention, but too many unknowns for the top 5. Finally, UCLA will be a problem next year. If they would have kept Mara, they'd be in my top 5 for sure. But They're my number 6. Pairing Donovan Dent with Eric Daly and Sky Clark makes a lethal backcourt. If Tyler Bilodeau has a strong offseason and they find a solid big man, this team will be tough to handle. Now for my top 5. At number 5, Wisconsin. Greg Gard and the Badgers had a great year, picked near the bottom, but finished as the 5 seed in the Big Ten tournament. Gard needs to reach the NCAA tournament's second round, but thankfully, that's not what the ranking is about. Wisconsin returns John Blackwell and Nolan Winter from their starting lineup last year. I'd like them more if John Tonji were back, obviously, but he's out of eligibility. Still, bench players like Jack Chinicki and Xavier Amos are ready to step up to be bigger contributors on this team. The Badgers are being picky in the portal, sticking to their shooting trend. We'll see if it pays off. I just wonder if they can replace Tonji's impact. At number 4, Illinois. Kylan Boswell and Big T Tomislav Ivicic are back. I love teams with a strong starting guard and a big man. Big T's brother, Zvonimir Ivicic, Big Z, is likely coming too. If Josh Dix and Jalen Sellers, currently crystal balled to Illinois, join, that's a heck of an offense. I lean Indiana still for Dix, but I'm going to roll with the crystal balls for now just because that's what is out there and everybody sees. We might hear about Dix today. Hopefully, it hasn't happened already, as I do this show at 9 a.m. and guys could announce at any time. But Illinois is at 4 because of their defense. They can't be Iowa under Fran McCaffrey with more talent. Brad Underwood needs to shore up that defense to win the Big Ten and contend for a title. Into the top 3, I have Michigan at number 3. Oh boy, the Wolverines are busier than ever in the portal. They're busier than ants serving their queen, right? Starting with Elliot Cadeau and Merez Johnson is intriguing. I really like Johnson, and Dusty May will do cool things with him. Michigan's in on everyone, and from what I hear, they usually get their targets. Few say no to them, and it sounds odd with how many they've been contacting, but their money and May's eye for talent make it work. Now, May needs shooters to surround Johnson and Cadeau. I believe they'll find them, and when they do, I trust May will build another strong team. Right above them at number 2, Michigan State. I can't put them below Michigan right now. Sorry, Wolverine fans. I just tell Dusty May to care more about the on-court results, not the on-logo standing or whatever, right? Michigan State's losing Trey Holloman, likely Jace Richardson, Jaden Akins, and Frankie Fiddler. I'm not sure who I'm banking on yet, but Tom Izzo's greatness shines through. He's hunting in that portal, building a winning culture with guys who fit, like with Jeremy Fears, Cohen Carr, Carson Cooper, and of course, Jackson Kohler returning. They've got a solid foundation. Some of this isn't certain, but I'm betting on Izzo, even without the guy, yet I'm convinced he'll find this offseason, and the Spartans will have another great year. Finally, at number 1, it's the man on the graphic next to me, the Purdue Boilermakers. How could it not? If you don't have Purdue at number 1, go sit in the corner and rethink yourself, okay? Because they're clearly the favorite, all right? Unless Braden Smith leaves or his Cybertruck dies and he can't get to the arena anymore. I mean, I love this lineup. Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, a transfer wing, maybe Brooks Barnheiser, we'll see. Trey Coffin and either Oscar Clough or Daniel Jacobson, plus CJ Cox and Jakari Harris developing off the bench will be huge. Matt Painter's one of the best coaches in college basketball. He knows how to win with potentially 2 first-team All-Americans and no glaring weaknesses. I really like where Purdue's headed next year. What do you think? Agree with the Boilermakers, or are you hyped for someone else? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you there. One more segment where I'll share with you the House settlement on April 7th and explain it and why the fear-mongering that you've seen isn't so bad, and people just need to chill out. If you like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. We'll be right back after this break. Home Field is your go-to destination for premium collegiate apparel with a passion for comfort and a flair for vintage design. Home Field brings you gear that is comfortable and stylish. With over 150 colleges to choose from, Home Field digs deep into the archives, uncovering forgotten logos, iconic mascots, and legendary moments to create one-of-a-kind apparel. Use my code TBTH for 15% off for new customers, or use my link in the description. Shop Home Field. Use the link in the description. Okay, let's get back to it. We're diving into the NCAA House settlement, a game changer for college sports that got final approval. That's got final approval looming on Monday, April 7th. There's a lot of buzz, some legitimate excitement, and thanks to ESPN, a hefty dose of fear-mongering. So let's break it down. What is it? How does it work? And why is it not the disaster some are making it out to be? Spoiler alert, this could be great for college athletics if we keep it out of the courtroom. Good luck with that. So what's the House settlement? It's a $2.6 billion, not billion-dollar deal wrapping up 3 lawsuits: the House versus NCAA, Hubbard versus NCAA, and Carter versus NCAA against the NCAA and the Power 5 conferences, ACC, Big Ten, Big 12, Pac-12, and SEC, led by Arizona State, I guess Big East, whatever, led by Arizona State swimmer Grant House. It's about paying athletes for their name, image, and likeness rights they couldn't cash in on before 2021, plus sharing broadcast revenue. Starting this fall, schools can opt into paying athletes directly up to $20.5 million per year, escalating 4% annually. Based on 22% of average Power 5 media ticket and sponsorship revenue, former athletes from 2016 onward get back pay, with 75% going to football, 20% to basketball, and 5% to other sports. Current players, they'll see cash beyond scholarships, potentially splitting half in athletic departments revenue like the pros. How's it going to work? If Judge Claudia Wilkin gives the green light, the NCAA is rewriting its rulebook. A new committee's already on it, and LBI Software's building a cap management platform. Think MLB or NBA salary cap tech here to track payments. The Power 5 are also launching a separate LLC to enforce the $20.5 million cap and vet third-party NIL deals over $600 through a clearinghouse. This ensures deals are legit endorsements and not pay-to-play scams. Penalties for breaking the cap are still in the works, but they could range from fines to coach suspensions. It's a big shift. Scholarship limits are out, replaced by roster caps with 105 for football and 34 for baseball. I believe it's 13, 15 for basketball, meaning more full rides but fewer walk-ons. Now, ESPN's Dan Wetzel and Pete Thamel are out here fear-mongering like crazy, saying this is a flawed system that'll turn college sports into a cheating free-for-all. They drag about Miami booster Nevin Shapiro's wild days, parties, bounties, $4 million in violations, and claim the new setup's unenforceable. Coaches like Rick Pitino and Bill Self chime in, doubting their fair market value can be pinned down. But sure, let's listen to the known cheaters and how the cheaters are going to operate. What do we want Sean Miller in here next? I mean, let's listen to the TV company that's profited on cheating for years in ESPN and preach to us about cheating. Am I crazy here? Like, there's a clear narrative here. Boosters and collectives will skirt the cap, and the NCAA's outsourcing enforcement to some new entity dooms it to fail. They're acting like the SEC and ESPN's previous cash cows can't dominate anymore if everyone's playing by the same rules. Shocker. Maybe they should hate losing their edge. Let's refute that nonsense. First, Shapiro's era was pre-NIL, then when amateurism was a facade and enforcement was a joke. The FBI's 2017 bust flopped because the old system had no teeth. This settlement's different. It's not the NCAA fumble enforcement. It's Power 5 led LLC with binding arbitration to speed up ruling and force compliance. The clearinghouse isn't guessing, it's using data from pro and college deals to set fair market values. Sure, cheats will try, but the system's got more tools, transparency, reporting, and real penalties than the NCAA ever had before, and more than the NCAA was ever willing to do before, too. ESPN's crying because its SEC pals can't overpay kids $2.5 million for a car ad anymore. Tough luck. Pros, athletes finally get paid six-figure checks for some ex-players, millions yearly for current ones. It's fair, leveling the playing field so all schools have a number and goal to work towards and aren't crushed by unchecked booster cash. This is going to keep college athletics from becoming the MLB, where the Yankees and Dodgers outspend everybody and the Pirates can never get a consistent program. Roster caps boost scholarships, especially sports like baseball. The cons are Olympic sports might lose spots, right? And walk-ons are toast. Tough, but it's manageable if schools prioritize. Title IX is a wild card in this. Unequal payouts could spark lawsuits, but they're fixable with smart distribution. The real win, if this sticks, college sports grow sustainable, revenue shared, not hoarded. Overall, this is good for college athletics. It's not perfect, cheating's a risk, and court battles loom, but it's a massive step past amateurism's hypocrisy. ESPN and the SEC hate it because it caps their pay-to-win game. As long as the schools adapt and Congress maybe steps in with an antitrust fix, we avoid legal causes. NCAA President Charlie Baker's right. It's an incremental and messy, but a huge improvement. Maybe it's not perfect, but at least we are working toward something. So let's cheer this on. College sports deserves this. It deserves some structure, some things put together. We can figure the schedule and everything else out later. Let's fix this for now. What do you think? Drop your takes below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more. I'll have another episode for you Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I will see you then.